Hey, everybody, welcome back. Here's the Jay Young Show again. I appreciate you being here today. And I'm also joined by my co-host, Jordan Soto. Hey, Jordan.
Hello, hello.
And how you doing today? Everything going good with you?
Oh my gosh, just doing so well. I was actually in Dallas the other day, stopped by King Operating,
Yeah,
got
I
to see.
noticed.
I know you weren't
I
there.
wasn't here, but you did a lot of recording with my background. I was like, well, that looks just like my background. Is that an AI thing there, or is that real?
No, yeah, no, it was in person and got to read a little bit of the book and then just, got to hang out with Laura Black, the marketing director at King Operating. So that was
Yeah.
really fun as well. And yeah, just saw the space. I feel like you guys have done some upgrades there. Like there are a few things on the wall that weren't there last time and things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, we're trying to upgrade. Do the good thing in our studio. Our studio's in our office. Everybody, I didn't know if anybody knew that, but we have the Jay Young Show. This background is here. We have two or three different places that you can sit around and try to. You got to change up some things, just to be try to be up to date. Try to get with the program, all that stuff.
No, you're
So
doing a wonderful job, and the place is beautiful. If you
yeah,
are in Dallas and you have the opportunity to stop by, you should do so.
absolutely. We'll put you on the Jay Young Show. We'll have give you the background and. We'll let you introduce the next guest, like you did. You
Yeah,
did a great job. A lot of people on social media came in and go, "I can't wait for this episode. I can't wait. We can't introduce him yet. We can't, but we're going to introduce him in a minute. But let's first talk about oil production. Oil production soaring. Not only just off, and it's not offshore. It's onshore. And there's a lot of rig count's been down here a little bit, so you're seeing a lot of oil and gas production going up, and all of a sudden you'll start seeing oil and gas production prices are coming down, and as rig counts coming down. So now you're seeing oil rigs coming down, and what you're going to see is prices will come down, production will come down, and all of a sudden we'll say, oh wait, we need more oil, and so then other rigs will come on, and as other rigs come online, then they'll start with a production up, and it's just a cycle. I mean, oil and gas is nothing different than economic 101, supply and demand. How much supply do we have, and what's the demand? So we're looking good on that. Which I do like the EU. Trump was in Scotland and talked about a few things. You want to talk about
isn't
that
that
a
where
little bit?
you were at? You were in Scotland too, right?
I was in Scotland too, but I was on the other side. I was on the east side. He's
Oh,
on the
okay.
west side, and I've heard that Trump Turnberry golf course is pretty tough. It's pretty tough. Of course, they're all tough if you don't hit it in the fairways over there. But
I don't know. You're doing better than me. I can't. I like if I get in a bunker,
yeah, yeah.
that's
Over there, the bunkers,
it.
the bunkers are like really, really deep. I mean, there was my buddy took a video, and I was in one, and you're right up against the ledge, and the ledge goes 90 degrees up. I mean, it's you can't get out of it. I just threw
No,
my
no.
ball over and
Once you're in it,
yeah.
turns out you're just in it forever.
Exactly. But Trump did some good with his, trying to negotiate some good tariffs, 15% tariffs, which is good. But also he talked about a lot of the European Union, making sure that they do a lot of business with the United States and buying more of our oil and gas products, which I believe is going to be LNG. You know,
Yeah, it does appear that way. I mean, the EU, like you had mentioned, just announced what was it, a $750 billion energy purchase plan over 3 years,
yeah.
mostly focused, like you said, on U.S. LNG. So, I thought that was really interesting. What do you anticipate that impact to be on the energy industry, Jay?
Yeah, good question because that'll increase our demand over here, and so I think prices for natural gas, which what we do is take natural gas down to the Corpus Christi or Galveston or some of the places, Houston ship channels, and then they'll liquefy it and put it on a ship and send it over. And what that'll do is it'll increase the demand, which will also increase the price, which is, yeah, I think the price is going from $3 today to $4, $5, $6 in the future, which is it's like having oil prices at 50 or 100. If you're trying to sell, would you rather have it at 50 or 100? And of course, hundreds better, and that makes a better multiple on investment, which we're going to talk about in just a minute. But also talk about, that's good for the oil and gas industry, especially the natural gas industry, because natural gas prices did go below $2 for a while. They went below $1. And when
Yeah.
you're having to drill wells and you need $3 to $4 and you're getting $1, that hurts. That hurts, and you're losing money at those prices. So, but natural gas prices fluctuate with supply and demand, just like oil prices do. And we don't want oil prices way too high, crazy, but we do want them. We want them steady. So I did watch some more episodes of Landman on my trip across the pond because I started watching a couple of movies. I didn't really like them, and on American Airlines, but they had 5 episodes of Landman, so I thought, okay, I'm gonna hit those out. So I did watch those again, which I love. That's a great show. The show Landman, and if you haven't caught it, it's on Paramount, and it's a great show. It talks a lot about the oil and gas industry and actually what we do. What we do for a living. So,
I want to go back to something that you had glossed over earlier, but I think is really important and impactful. And you did make a slight mention of it, but just back to oil prices. I know that we've talked about the cyclical nature of the oil and gas industry, but I think it's really important to note that the U.S. onshore oil production and the high that it just hit. 1.7 million barrels per day. It's up 6-fold from 2008. We've talked about many times, the cyclical nature of this industry, but what does this record high mean, not just for you as an investor, but for the U.S. as a whole?
Yeah. We need about over 20 million barrels a day in the United States. That's our appetite, or as George Bush mentioned, that's our addiction. We have an addiction to oil. We need it. We have to have it. We have to have it for roads, for plastics, for lipstick, for our cars, our tires, everything is oil and gas related, and we need more of it. And so what happens is when we started going horizontal and then fracking wells, our production went from 1 million barrels of oil in the Permian Basin to over 6 million barrels of oil in the Permian. 1 million a day to 6 million. That's a lot of new oil that's being produced in the United States. So we did increase our supply here, and which is good because we want to be less dependent on OPEC plus countries, and so they don't ruin the price of oil and gas for us. Or just imagine if we were producing 30-40% of our daily production, they could just do the price however they wanted to, up down, and they'd put it really to the ringer for us. So with what we have now is we have more of a control issue, and we can buy oil from other countries. Canada and Mexico are our 2 biggest, but other countries too do make oil and gas, and we can buy it, and we don't have to be just dependent on 1 or 2. With us producing we produce almost 14 million barrels of oil here, and we need 20. That's 6 million barrels a day that we get from other countries. So we're at our maximum. We're at our maximum in the United States pretty much. We can't produce any more in the United States. I mean, we could and export it, but our refineries here in the United States we're up to our max, and so we are producing more than we are consuming here, or actually putting them into the refineries. So that's a big area. There is production, and how much do we produce, and how much are we dependent on other countries. And it's good that we are producing at our maximum levels here in the United States, about 14 million barrels a day, and it's only because of refineries. I mean, we don't want to produce it here, refine it overseas, and then bring it back. I mean, that'd be too expensive. So we do produce a little bit more than we use, about as much as we produce, maybe a little bit more. So we are exporting some of our oil.
Yeah, the Permian Basin, like we had said, has been just quite the cash cow when it comes to oil production. And as you mentioned, I don't know if you mentioned this part specifically, but New Mexico is really being the key kicker for that boom. So, it'll be interesting to keep looking at the Permian Basin. Do you think that will remain the hub of production
New
for the
Mexico,
U.S. Yeah.
New Mexico, Delaware
Well, just
Basin.
New Mexico and then the Permian Basin in general.
Yeah, well, the Permian Basin makes up of New Mexico. That's the western part, the western northern edge of the Permian Basin goes into New Mexico, called the Delaware Basin. Then you have the Midland Basin and the Central Basin platform. But anyway,
Yeah.
I know I'm getting specific,
No,
but
that's okay.
yes,
That's okay. Like in the
yeah,
map in my head, I can see it all.
yeah.
So you're
It's a
fine.
horseshoe like this, and the Delaware's over here, the Midland's over here. Well, if you're turning the other direction, and then the Central Basin platform, which doesn't produce as much oil and gas as on the other sides, but the Delaware's deeper. It's 13, 15,000 feet down, which produces bigger reserves, produces a lot more
I see.
oil, and so it's over here. But that runs up all the way into New Mexico, and which is a huge producer. They hate oil and gas, New Mexico. They don't like it at all. They want to get rid of it, but we keep producing it, and they keep cashing those checks. They get a big royalty check every month for their severance tax, and they keep cashing them. So they say they hate them, but yeah, they're cashing the checks for sure. So, but yeah, I think that there's a lot of we have some inventory left for Tier 1 acreage in the Delaware Basin, which is southern, western, it's, I guess, western Texas and southern New Mexico. That's where the majority of the big, huge locations are left, drilling inventory. Tier 1 acreage. And then you have, that's a lot, there's a lot left there. So as long as everybody's good with drilling out there, it's good. We're doing a great job, and we are definitely going to continue drilling there. And there's a lot less inventory in the Central Basin platform or Midland or Eagle Ford, Austin Chalk. But we'll continue to drill. But there is only so much inventory, and then we're
Right.
done. So big hurdles, with that, with the demand for oil and gas. Because as long as we have demand for oil and gas and we continue to drill here, everybody's fine. But if we run out of locations to drill in the United States and our demand continues to go up, which we feel like, and Dan Steffen we had on not long ago, talked about the oil and gas and demand. He says we'll never go down in demand. We'll always have strong demand in the United States for oil. And if we don't produce it here, we will have to go back to, finding it from other people or just not have it. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll be the Jetsons. We'll be the Jetsons by then, and we'll be able to just fly over in those little space deals, right?
Oh, hey, I'm looking forward to the day.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It'll be fun. I heard a
Well,
Tesla car go upside down. Anyway,
oh my goodness.
I know.
Don't love that.
They were driving upside down. Yeah,
Oh wait, on purpose?
on purpose. Yeah, there was some deal this morning. I was watching BBC, and they were talking about there's a car that went upside down. It had by fans. It was attached to the road, and it was literally going upside down. Anyway, I don't go into that. Anyway, what were you gonna say? What was it?
Well, I was gonna
Totally throw
say
you off?
we were talking about cash and checks, and I want to learn how the rich get richer. So is it time to bring in our very special guest,
Hey,
Jay?
hey, now I do believe special guest and Forbes author. I tell you, and I'm a Forbes author too, so he's like a brother from another mother. But we are talking about how the rich get richer. We're going to bring on. Hey, Gabriel Shahin is a certified financial planner, MBA, and Forbes author, based in Los Angeles, the city of angels, or not. Hey, welcome aboard, Gabriel. Come on into this show here. Come on in.
Jay, thanks for having me. Jordan, pleasure to meet you. Excited to have some fun today.
Man, I tell you what, I can't wait to learn how the rich get. I mean, number one, I want to get rich, and then I want to know how to get richer. So, I mean, do you have to be rich to own your book, or to have your? Do I have to be rich first before I read it, or?
No, it's just like you're just watching what you aspire to be. So there are
Okay.
steps that you have to do to get there. So what's the best thing is just outside of just doing it yourself, let's see the mistakes other has made and learn from them so you don't have to chip your teeth.
That's great. So it's a self-help. It's a self-help, how to get rich, and also how to get richer. And you're going to help Jordan and I with that thought process of what do we need to do? What do we need to do to get rich? what does rich mean? Hey, tell me that. What is when you wrote the
Yeah, that's
book?
a good question,
Yeah,
Jay.
what? I'm sorry, I'm taking over here. But what makes a person? What do you mean rich?
Yeah, that's the variable, right? I mean, some would say rich is just coming home, roof over your head, having a family that loves you. I mean, that's probably my definition of rich.
Hmm.
I think the main aspect is how can you maximize some of the tools around you to help increase your wealth? It's as simple as that. So my also definition is just being successful. So then you start asking yourself, what is your definition of successful? I think we can all agree to some level you do need some type of money involvement when you decide what is rich.
Hmm.
Yes, it's a power to have you achieve certain goals that you have. But yes, I think rich is just whatever your version of success looks like, and it helps you get there faster.
Yeah. All right. So you're not going to tell me exactly. Is there a number? Is there a number on how to get
There
rich,
is
or if
no
you're rich?
number.
But it's my own number, right? It's like I could have my own number. It's like the guy he worked down in. This is kind of a dumb story. There was a guy that was running this area, and he was showing people how to catch fish. He goes, I can catch 40 fish a day. I go out for 20 minutes. And he said, I go out for 20 minutes, I catch 40 fish. I make enough money to feed my family, feed my extended family. I'll do all this. And a couple saw it from J.P. Morgan or some bank and said, oh my gosh, I could make you extremely rich. I could, if you could show me how to do that. And he said, I could do that and I could scale it all across the world. And we'd have people eating fish for years and years and years. And I could make you so rich and happy. And the guy goes, oh, wait. I'm happy with working 20 minutes a week or whatever. I'm happy, working 20 minutes and getting 40 fish. I'm happy. My family's happy. I don't need money. Right. So I guess it's just a thought pattern behind what your success is, or what makes you happy. Is that happy, successful? We got a lot of words going on here. Rich.
I,
It's funny. Warren Buffett, at the end of the day, what does he have? He drives a Cadillac and lives in a three-bedroom house, and he's one of the richest people in the world. So
Right.
it just really depends on what makes. There are some people with $50 million that still don't feel rich,
Right.
right.
and so it's just you're exactly right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like you said, like it just depends on your lifestyle. It depends on what success means to you. And one of the key things of this show is what does success mean to each of the entrepreneurs that we have interviewed on this show? And then how did they get to where they're at? And sometimes what you start off thinking when you start your path, thinking that success will be, and then actually getting closer to what that success previously defined was, and you're like, wait a second, I don't think this is actually like what I'm looking for, and then you go into adjusting that. But like we all agree on here is just success is in it comes from what that person who is reaching for their definition of success, what they define it as. But when we're looking at this book and we're looking at the key concept of that, of like how the rich are getting richer, I'm curious as to what inspired you to write this book in the first place.
Yeah, great question. Thank you, Jordan. It's funny. A smart person learns from their own mistakes. A smarter person learns from others' mistakes. And for me, who has a firm that helps thousands of people a year, who've built one of the largest wealth management practices in the country, it really just came to a point of there's just so much to share with people. And we get a lot of incoming people that want help. Let's call it 2,500 a month. But there's only about maybe, let's say, 1,000 of them that we can help. There's still another 1,500 that are maybe a year or two behind. We can't directly work with them. So I thought, how could we give them a guide? How could we still help them? How could we still able to just give them the advice that they need to get where they want to go? If they could get there 1 or 2 years faster, if they can get there more efficiently, if they can have more, if they can just remove maybe some cultural biases, some regional biases of maybe just bad investments or bad decisions, or hey, who doesn't want no debt? Everybody wants no debt. But we all, I hope, can agree if you have a 2.5% mortgage, it's probably okay, knowing you could still get 4% in a savings account. I don't care
Mm-hmm.
if you could afford to pay it off. It's just there are smarter things to do with your money. So there are some things that we could share just from a top level down into the weeds. Within a big chapter is taxes, even, and just going over, hey, this is what I've seen in my 20 plus year career of what successful rich people do and how they get richer. They use leverage. They understand the tax game. Not all investments are touching, like real estate or gold. Like there is more out there. Just because you can't put your hands on it doesn't mean it's not real. So there's just that inspiring moment where I said, you know what? It's more than just helping my clients, but really we can help really just whoever is inspired to grow their net worth.
And I
Wow.
think that that also impacts multi-generational wealth opportunities as well, whenever you're able to help people build that firm foundation and then be able to build structure around it to keep good, not good habits, I don't want to lock us into that, but habits that would enhance opportunities for people that you're working with. Jay, I know that you invest in a lot, and also with King Operating, there are tax benefits. I don't know if you want to plug King Operating here, but maybe now is the time to do so if you want.
Well, I don't want to go into it too much. I mean, this is Gabriel Shahin, and I do want to ask a couple of questions real quick before we do that. But Gabriel, what firm do you work with? And are you an RIA? You're a
We
certified
are.
financial planner. So
RIA, registered investment advisor. So I founded Falcon Wealth Planning in 2015 with 8 clients and 5 million under management, and we've grown to help a few thousand clients now and well over $1 billion in assets. And really the idea was just to help the millionaire next door. Quite
wow,
frankly,
a
it was
thousand
nothing.
clients, a thousand
Yeah, yeah,
clients.
a few thousand. Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of
Wow.
people. That's great. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, I think, well, it's not just me, right? Now we have dozens of CFPs. We're in 42 states, and we are consistently one of the top fastest growing firms in the country,
That's right.
mostly because we just know how to articulate and communicate our message. It's
Yeah,
as simple as that. And so
yeah.
that's really been so the book is just a perfect tool for us to really help communicate
Oh, what
that.
a great title. I mean, and I really, to get the message out, what I wanted to do was I want to tell clients or investors that there's a better way to invest in oil and gas. And so I named my book The Upside of Oil and Gas Investing. But I'm just, but for your book, it's the same thing. I mean, you just send the book and they go, hey, how do I get richer? Right. I don't want to, I'm already rich. I came to you as an RA, which I love the model on the rich on the RAs, because they may take a little bit of a management fee or something, but other than that, man, they're on board. They make more money when you make more money, So they're they're and I'm sorry, I don't mean to step in and
Oh,
do
no,
an
no, no, Jay, keep going, keep going.
advertisement for you, but
I will tack it on at the
yeah,
end.
but you do. I mean, you make more money when they make more money, so isn't it in your best interest for them to make great business decisions for them, so make more money. Gabriel, tell me
Yeah, I mean
about yeah.
that's the model, that's the setup, that's the goal. I mean, kind of sometimes I see other commission-based advisors that are out there. They're slinging insurance products, and just it's funny. They could make 10 times more than us, but and they do 1/10 of the work, and
Wow.
then you can't
Mhm.
even leave them if you wanted to because you're going to have an exit fee because they have to recoup the commissions they just paid out the
Mm,
person. So it does
yeah.
kind of suck, but we're kind of blessed because number one, we sleep well at night. That's like priority in life, thank God. And then number two, it's like, hey, we grow on volume. Like
Yeah.
I mean, I sometimes I would say we're like the Costco of financial planning now. High quality, high volume, fair price. Probably not the best marketing play to say you're Costco of financial planning, but the idea is simple. It's like we're a volume shop, and the best part about it is we can give the attention it deserves. We can give that one-on-one feature. I say in the book multiple times, personal finance is more personal than finance. You can have 3 scenarios with 3 people that spend $1 million each, that have 20, $30 million each, and each financial plan will be completely different. And that's the fun part of the job
Hmm.
because nobody wants a job you go every single day and it's just different. Or it's the same, it's repetitive. So that's where it's really cool. And that's where the book, why it's not just 1 or 2 or 5 chapters. There's so many variables that I just want people thinking about. And the book, there's times in there I'm telling you the answer is it depends.
Yeah.
But here's why it depends.
Right.
And this is where it really starts to make an impact.
Right. That's great. I mean, I was a stockbroker. I had my Series 7 363 back in the 80s, and then I got into oil and gas. But it was kind of a weird because everybody was a stockbroker at that time, and everything was more regulated, and you couldn't make fees off your clients. So you're having to sell product. You're having to sell product over and over and over again. Every day you had to come in and sell something to somebody, or you didn't make any money. But the model for a RIA is so much better because they overlook your portfolio and they want to make you money and make you as much money as, like I said. I mean, that's my opinion of a RIA, which I do use one, is because they make more money when you make more money. So that's what their whole entire goal is, to make you more money. You know.
What is
Yeah, that's exactly right.
the difference between commission only and fee only when you're looking at um, uh, that advice and like you having to pay? What is the difference and why does that matter? As somebody who doesn't really know.
Yeah, I think that's a fair question, and that's a big argument in the industry. I think the biggest part is a commission based, which, as Jay was saying, back in the day, everybody was commission based. That's just how it was, and we joke sometimes saying we were born in the wrong era. But with that being said, it's like, hey, like that's a transactional business model, and nothing is wrong with that. And there is something to be said. We still need those guys. And it's like there's people who just want a product, and nothing is wrong with that. And there's times we recommend to people to do that because we're not allowed to make commissions. So we find somebody that can, and there
Oh,
you
I
go.
see. So,
The
so if
Yeah.
I was to work with you guys, then I would pay a fee, and then I would, and then that's how I would work with you versus like, or because Jay, you were saying like when you make money, they make money. So, I am trying to make it make
So
sense in my head.
let's just say he manages $1 billion and he gets 1%. Okay, he makes $10 million a year upfront or every quarter based on that money. He probably takes less than 1% for all you potential people that want to be on his board. But let's just say he takes 1%. So he knows that he has that money coming in every year, that $10 million. So he's got 30 to 50 people that rely on that $10 million to manage his money for him and to make sure that his money's doing right. And he may pay bills for some people. He's got that overhead, right? So he's got a ton of overhead. But if he's got, let's say these 30 or 40 people that are stockbrokers, they haven't made a dime, and he hasn't made a dime until they sell something. So every day they're like, what's the hot stock today? Oh, Microsoft's going up 3 cents. Let's get on the phone. And so they all get on the phone, and the old Wall Street, sell, buy, sell, buy. And so it's like this crazy, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to take over and answer your question, and you can probably do it a lot better than I can. But I'm just sitting here thinking about it going, they don't generate any commissions at all until they sell something. And so that's a lot different. See what I'm saying? It's like he can sit back and he doesn't have to make a decision on what products to his investors to make a decision on. I'm doing your job for you, Gabriel. But
You're
he
doing
can
great,
he can
actually.
sit back.
He'll collect a fee at the end.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
can sit back.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's as simple as this. We can only get paid directly from our clients. So
Okay.
that's a big deal. And so there are about 30% of the clients who pay us a fee directly to us. And so that is to build out a financial plan, maybe telling them what they should invest in,
Oh,
and then
okay.
helping them execute on that plan. So
Mm-hmm.
there's about 30% of the people that's what they want. They want that guidance, that unbiased guidance. We're also, to be very specific, we're an independent RIA, which means our clients' money not with Falcon Bank, it's like with Fidelity or Schwab or wherever. It's different if you were at like a Raymond James or a Merrill Lynch or a JP Morgan or wherever. Because if you think about it, you can only offer what they have available to you. It's like going to a car dealership, right? Going to a Ford car dealership. Nothing's wrong with Ford. They have arguably the best pickup in the world, or at least the highest sales pickup in the world. So, but you can only buy a Ford.
Mm-hmm.
So you can
Right.
only buy what they can tell you to
Got it.
offer versus we have
Okay.
the whole universe of investments. It's super easy for us. Now, there are a subset of clients that say, I'm not going to implement this our own. You manage it for us. So with that being said, let's say in Jay's example, if we manage $1 billion, okay, and let's just say they make 10%. Now they have 1.1 billion. We get a raise of 10%. Now, with
Oh,
that being said, if the $1 billion drops to 900 million, a 10% loss, we lose 10% of our revenues as well. So hopefully we can all appreciate that I'm a very bad loser. I don't like losing. Sometimes the best way to make money is just don't lose it to begin with. But
Right.
the idea with all this is the investments that we select for our clients, they're completely unbiased. We don't get paid by third parties. Our only form of payment, unlike other firms like the ones I listed earlier, there's what's called revenue shares. There are campaigns. There are referral back end payments they receive, commissions that they do not have to disclose to the client. For us,
oh,
we have to disclose everything to the client. Granted, we don't get any third party fees, but if we were, we would have to disclose it
Hmm.
fully. But because our model is we do not receive anything third party, we only get paid directly from the client. People love that. It's just so transparent. With that being said, we get paid less than the competition, but it's very transparent. People like to work with that
Yeah.
type
and you get
of
to sleep at night.
RA.
I think it's ideal. I mean, I think it's the smartest thing going. Seriously, I just think it's a great way to manage money, and it's a great way to do it. And for him to start with a few clients and 5 million to $1 billion, man, what a great that. I mean, I don't know how you achieved all those clients, but what a great job in advertising. Is probably word of mouth is a lot of your clients and bringing that money in. But that's great. Congratulations on that. And of course, then you write a book. Man, you write a book called the How the Rich Get Richer. So, man, I mean, that makes sense, Jordan, on the how he's going to make more money when his clients make more money. So, if he grows that
Hey,
billion
passive
dollars to two
income. We're
billion,
always talking about it.
man, I love it. I
Passive
think
income.
it's a great one of the greatest things going on out there. I think it's really great. What part of LA are you in?
I'm in a suburb of Ontario, so not the craziness of downtown LA.
Yeah.
Used to be the City of Angels. I don't know what it is now, but anyway, we're in the suburb of Ontario, California, not Ontario, Canada, Ontario, California, San Bernardino County. So we're about 45 miles east of LA. So Southern California, we got offices all over though. We have probably half a dozen offices just here in Southern California.
That's great.
You know, one obviously when people think of California, they think of all the taxes and regulations that are happening for businesses there, leading a lot of businesses to
You're being
move.
nice. They could think of a lot of other things about California as well, but you're being super nice, Jordan.
But it's leading a lot of people to move their businesses headquarters to other states like that of Texas. You know, I want to talk a little bit more about taxes and how wealthy individuals think differently about taxes. Do you mind shedding some light on maybe some perspectives or some key influences that help those who maybe are in a better financial standing consider taxes or work around them?
Yeah, I would say probably one of the best things that I did was have a niche of tax planning. I thought to myself, what type of clients do I want? What type of clients are great? Typically business owners, executive professionals, high income earners. These would tend to be the people that at least appreciate financial professionals most. I would go as far as saying any professionals. These are the people who have the CPAs, that have an attorney, that have partners to help them in their financial situation. So when I'm looking at what type of people that would value the most benefit with us, it's typically the sophisticated individual. Because if we're going in deep depth of tax planning, sometimes our tax strategies require one step back for multiple steps forward. It could be something like paying tax up front, paying for an investment or some type of vehicle that may help them later. They don't see it instantly today. So requiring that is, I think, is huge. But everything starts with the tax side. I mean, we've had clients with $20 million, and they've said something on the lines of, "Hey, I need help with. You're not going to manage my money at all. Just help me with tax planning." So we may do a $20,000 to $50,000 plan. Now, we don't do that because they have $20 million. We did that because literally in a span of 2 to 3 hours, we were able to build a plan that would save them $600,000 to $700,000 annually
Oh,
as long as they're
wow.
working.
Wow.
So then it comes to a point when they're realizing that it takes now a few months to implement. But after a while, they're thinking to themselves, like, okay, well, imagine what I would get working with you, not 2 to 3 hours, 2 to 3 weeks, or 2 to 3 months, but 2 to 3 years, 2 to 3 decades. And so, for that point of view, they're like, well, you just saved me hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'll let you manage my money because at that point, I'm not paying you $150,000 a year, I'm paying you a negative $500,000 a year when I look at the value that you provided. So those who feel, and here's the funny thing, Jordan, everybody feels they paid more in tax than they should. Everybody. Like, find me one person that's like, I'm very happy with the amount of taxes I paid this year. Like, no, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And for
No.
that reason alone, I think is why we're really focusing on how the rich get richer, is they're always looking for legal ways to enhance their situation.
Yeah. That's a great thought. And I tell you, I met someone, from California, and I was talking to them about taxes, and I said, man, you guys, but I love California. It's a great place to live. The weather's ideal. I mean, and I said, but the politics and taxes, and he said, don't get me started on taxes. He said, politics is one thing. I don't listen, but I have to pay taxes. He said, my number one line item is taxes. And when I wrote my book, we both wrote a book, more to Forbes book, but there's one of the authors that's out of Ohio, and I can't think of his name right now. But we were going around this table in Chicago, and we're talking about the different places about, who's your best client or who is your client. And this guy was an IRA out of Ohio. And I told him, I said, hey, you're my best prospect. And he said, well, why? And I said, well, because you manage money and you want your clients to save on taxes. And he goes, well, yeah. He said, I do oil and gas. And I go, well, we do oil and he didn't know me at the time. I said, well, we do oil and gas too. And he goes, oh, okay. I don't have a selling agreement with his firm, so we didn't do business. But I said, tell me what you like about oil and gas. And he said, my clients love oil and gas because they save money on their taxes initially. We save money on our taxes, and he said the clients get their money back after 3 to 5 years. He said they'll get their money back, and then that's all he said. And I said, that's it? And he goes, well, yeah, but my clients save on their taxes. They feel like they're Jed Clampett in the oil and gas business, and he feels like that they get their money back, and so it's a good investment. And I said, where's the upside in that? And as a matter of fact, that's why the name of my book is called The Upside of Oil and Gas Investing, because we look to grow that our goal is a 3x on equity in 3 to 5 years. And so we went a little bit step further. We do it a little bit step further than the big boys. We drill in the same areas, the same kind of wells, but when we drill a well, we know what we're going to have before we drill it. So we know we're going to get the clients their money back. We use a little bit of leverage on the back end to increase the value by drilling more wells. But our ultimate goal, our goal is to spend $1 billion between now and 2028 and to create $2 to $3 billion worth of value at lower prices. So we really feel like that we have the right way to go, and we're drilling wells in the right areas. And so, but taxes is, it's just unbelievable. I was watching this USA taxes or something, USA questions. Steve Ballmer, who was 35 years Microsoft and 10 years with the LA Clippers, he came on. Something happened to Gabriel's camera, but they had he had talked about taxes, and it's a great podcast. Steve Ballmer, USA something, I can't remember the name of it. But I was watching one of the episodes last night. But go to his website and listen to how important, or our deficit, how much money we owe. We owe $35 trillion, which I can't even imagine how much $1 trillion is. And to imagine,
Definitely can't.
But the biggest challenge that we've had in the federal deficit is during COVID. During COVID, we went from, spending about spending about $4 or $5 trillion a year, and then during COVID, with all the government programs, it went up to like $7 billion. So we brought in 4, spent 7, and then all of a sudden from there it's just gone crazy. And so we're trying to get back to that. And I think these tariffs may do it. That's what Trump.
They may.
That's what Trump
I mean,
says.
that's really something that I think is quite interesting is, when we've talked about the tariffs, obviously it's caused a lot of concern, it's caused a lot of stress, and it's caused a lot of shifting in strategy. While we're talking about it, Jay, tell me a little bit more about where you believe the energy industry is standing with the tariffs and what impact that has had, at least in the summer months that we've seen thus far.
Yeah, that's a good question. And I tell you, it's bringing the certainty back into the country where you know what you're going to get, because at one time Trump was like, I think 150% tariffs. It's like, and I mean, people that bring things out of Brazil. I mean, I was listening to this the other day. They're talking about the price of coffee, and somebody said they were walking by a Starbucks, and they said, hey, it's six. Remember when it was only $6 for a cup of coffee at Starbucks, and they were talking about the tariffs. Now it's $10 or $15 or something because
I know it. I know it.
So let me ask you this, because I had a friend of mine ask me this last week, Gabriel. We're talking to Gabriel Shahin from Falcon, right? I love that Falcon name. What a great
I know,
it's
name. Really cool.
Yeah, it is. That is pretty cool. And Eastern LA, we're talking to Gabriel, and Gabriel's, taking his company from a little bit of money to, just managing so much money, which is awesome. What a great job. And when people insure you with their money, there's a lot of trust there. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of trust there. So man, and now he's written a book on how the rich get richer. We talked about rich and what does rich mean. It's about success. It's about happiness. I think it's more about happiness. It's doing, and I'm a member of Tiger 21. Gabriel, I don't know if you know that or not, or know what Tiger 21 is.
I don't. I'm a fellow member as well.
Are you really?
I did not know that.
Forbes author,
now I
Tiger
feel like
21.
the odd man out over here.
Man.
What is going on?
Yeah, I told you we're brothers from another mother. Right. All right. Anyway, but anyway, I'd love to come to your Tiger 21 meeting sometime. But anyway, so cool. Yeah. But Tiger 21, they talk about what happiness is or what success means, and the answer that I get over and over and over again is doing what you want, when you want, with whoever you want, at all times.
I feel like that's autonomy, right? The autonomy over your life.
Yeah. But it's not like you have to go to work because you have to make a living. It's not like you have to, it's like you can go to work. You don't have to go to work. You can go on vacation. You don't have to go on vacation. That is, to me, that's success. And I love
You're not trying to escape the life that you have. You're enjoying the life that you've built.
Yeah, exactly. You're living off dividends, and
it's a blessing.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yes.
definitely.
I think that's probably the biggest thing. This whole thing is just making sure that you understand what you want out of life, and then our goal, the professional's goals, your goal is to make sure you get there as efficiently as possible. That's
absolutely.
Literally, and there are some shortcuts, there are some hacks, and I think that's probably the biggest piece of everything.
Yeah. I love that. That is so good, and it is true. It's like you want to make sure that each one of your clients, each one of your employees, each one of your clients, everybody's doing what they wanted, and what does success mean to them. What old Zig Ziglar says, you can get anything in life you want if you'll just help. What, Jordan? If you can just help
another person.
Other people get what they want. Yeah. I've said that enough on the show, Jordan. I'm going to set you up next time. I'll send you a text next time.
Yeah, thank you. I was prepared for our show motto. I know that you've said the quote a lot, but normally you finish it all the way through. I feel like you held the mic out. I was off with my lyrics. Sorry about that.
All right. Well, I won't ask you what John 3:16 is, but anyway, all right. So we love that. Anyway, let's talk about. I know that we talked about taxes a minute ago, and I've got to ask you this question. Man, did we just go off on a tangent or what?
We did, but hey, we're back.
That squirrel. Hey, where? Oh, anyway. So, what I was going to ask you earlier is, my friend asked me, what else is there out there that is a good tax product? What else is there out there that you look for? Because I know in California, for people to trust you, you had to, for thousands of people that you manage money, and you built this company in 10 years. What is it that other tax products that, I know we have oil and gas, and it's obvious they sponsor the show. I'm a fourth generation. I've done oil and gas all my life and know about it from family. But what else is out there that is a good tax product that makes you money?
I mean, from a tax point of view, just from a tax play, I mean, I know that for a while there they had those conservation easements, and the IRS didn't like those, and
Mm-hmm.
there could be some like fee simple easements as well. But really, your money goes, I say, three places, right? If we're living, it goes to us, it goes to the IRS, or it goes to charity. So it really goes to one of the three or two of the three places. So your job is to decide who. So there are some really good strategies out there, like a charitable remainder trust and a few other things that you could have your cake and eat it too, where you can draw income if you're charitably inclined and also be able to get those big tax write-offs. But from an actual like product point of view, oil and gas is probably still one of the best that are out there. I know kind of the newer solar farms are also really good that are out there. You get some really good benefits. But at the end of the day, you have to find a good manager because you
Yeah.
don't want to do an investment solely for the tax benefits. I mean, that is one piece of it. But I think at the end of the day, I think if you can find some really good investments that in the byproduct should be tax savings
Mm-hmm.
versus do something for the tax savings just so you can, hopefully get something from a good investment. I think that could be just a fantastic tool. But everything lies within the manager.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. And I did not pay you to say that about oil and gas, did I? Did I? Maybe? No? Okay.
No, it's hey, listen, the book that you wrote is fantastic. I mean, I actually even learned a couple things there, but I mean, just from some of the words and acronyms that you use. But I think that's often misrepresented, or on our side, where financial advisors say their financial advisors weren't in the reality. They're
Right.
just investment people. They're
Right.
not doing any type of financial advice, or they're not even looking at somebody's tax return. So I say they're not even really a financial professional at all. So I
Right.
think at the end of the day, I think that's probably the biggest thing is understanding their financial situation so you can actually give financial advice. Because most financial advisors say what? Please consult with a tax advisor. Well, we are that tax advisor. That's why it's so important to do
Yeah,
so.
that's
And
great.
hopefully now, hold on. Hopefully now I got my video going. So hallelujah. Look at that. Technical difficulty at
Hey, all
He's
right.
back. He's back. I have one last question for you. Jay, do you have any other questions before I ask my last
Well, I don't
one?
know. I mean, are we done? Are we finishing this thing up or what? I don't know. But
I mean, I feel
hold on.
like I have
Let me
learned
go.
everything I needed to know to feel comfortable and confident
Let's talk about
in
him and
putting my wealth in the hands
let's
of
ask him
Gabriel and
about
his team. What
yeah.
about you, Jay?
Let's just talk about Gabriel. What else do you want to mention here? I mean, man, you've done a fantastic job with your company and bringing it up, which I do appreciate. Anything else that you do different, or anything else about your company that you'd like to mention real quick?
Yeah, I mean, for us, you're building a financial partnership. That's what it is. Our job, unlike other advisors out there, wants to increase your net worth. So sometimes it's taking money that is being managed and doing something else with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it is focusing on that generational wealth point of view. So it's so easy just to worry about yourself. The best financial plan I hear for people that only care about themselves is to bounce the last check to the mortuary. It's the
Mm-hmm.
best financial plan ever, right? So,
Right.
but the reality is people do want more than that. People now than ever are thinking more outside of just themselves. They're thinking about whether it's their heirs, whether it's nonprofits or whatever. They want to leave a legacy. And I think for us, when you build a financial partnership, it's not just about increasing your investment portfolio, but it's increasing your overall net worth. And a lot of that does come from taxes. So for those out there that have a lot going on, or even if you don't, even if you just want to enhance your situation, there is so many things. I've walked the shoes. If you're a Tiger member, you understand, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know what it takes to be successful. It's very few times I have somebody sitting across the table from me that I haven't experienced what they experienced. So I think there is something to be said about that.
That is great. I'll tell you what. I'm looking you up right now in my Tiger deal. But
I know. Well, I found you guys on LinkedIn, and I gave you guys a follow too. So that was
oh,
pretty
good.
easy to find you guys. I think I found the right one. Who knows?
The
if I actually
the
did. I think
T21 Connect.
Yeah, T21 Connect, and let me see, T21 Connect, and I got to sign in. I got to do my Face ID, and I've got to do my. But anyway, is there anything else that is there? And I appreciate you saying that about conservation easements and a lot of the solar panels about oil and gas, But I just into making you money because that's one of the things that Gabriel Shahin right here. Here you go. Look at there, man.
Oh,
let's
you
see.
did it. He did it.
Hey, there's Jay Young over there on my. Wow, exclusive club, and it's a great, great
Are you going to go to
organization.
GX in Vegas?
Oh yeah, yeah. I've been a member since 2011.
Oh man, you got me. I've been a couple years now.
Couple of years now. Well, yeah, there wasn't anything. There was something in L.A. and then they started. Um, they've been in San Diego for a long time, which is great. But I like the L.A. groups. They're great, and I'd like to come to your. I'll come to one of your meetings. Love to.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah,
Love the
absolutely.
host for sure.
Is there? Let me see. Is there anything else that what would you like to invest in, or what's a good investment for people out there? Let's say if I said, hey, I got a few million, I got a $5 million portfolio, and I come to you right now. What do you think's the next 3 to 5 year investment portfolio look like, or what would you like to see investing?
Yeah, I would say kind of what I've been really big because there's always that core portfolio, which is just indices, investing in the S&P 500,
Yeah,
the Nasdaqs of the world, the QQQs, the international mid cap, small caps. There's that. Okay, so if there's $5 million, I said, I have a core portfolio, maybe $1 to $2 million there. But then you start looking, and here's kind of the ones I like the best are private stocks. And I think you can find some really good returns in private stocks and private markets, such as the SpaceX, the Andurils of the world, and so on. So depending on what you get it at, and it's hard to actually find a legitimate company that you can get it at a fair price. And then, of course, there's the last part, which is just structured notes, private debt. You can get some really good things out there where you can get some, whether it's protecting on the downside through options, where you could get that 10% return. I don't want to say easy, nothing's guaranteed. We all know that everything has risks, but there's some really good structured notes out there and just the private debts out there where you can get north of 10%. So I do think, and now it also does matter though, Jay, where your money is. If your money is sitting in a brokerage account, well, some of these investments pay ordinary income tax.
mm,
Well, you may lose half of it to taxes depending on where you're at.
yeah,
So
yeah, it
sometimes
does.
it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep net of taxes as well. So there are some strategic ways depending. If you had a Roth IRA with 5 million bucks in there, well, maybe what I'm talking about makes a lot of sense versus some other mechanisms. So the answer is it depends. But if you're talking to me, I believe in public markets that are efficient, but I also think there are private markets where you could take advantage of and get really good returns.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. Well, I don't have anything else. Or Jordan, you got a question you want to ask?
I have the last question, which is, Gabriel, knowing what you know now and seeing your career go as it has, and then building something for yourself and seeing the success that you've seen, what advice would you give to your 18-year-old self?
Ooh, 18-year-old self. Ooh,
A little
okay, that's
baby
a
Gabriel, what would you say to
baby.
him?
Well, I still had a beard back then and had a full-time job and so probably advice I would say um probably start earlier, but then again I wouldn't have learned as much, so that's
Mm,
harder. You don't have to do it alone. You sometimes feel like you have to do everything, and I think as you go into management, you still have a hard time delegating. You still have to
yes.
do it all by yourself. Some people call you a micromanager sometimes, but like don't judge execution and people who get it done right. So I think building a strong team core around you, hiring people to your blind spots, I think is
Mm.
extremely important. Doing that sooner rather than later, no matter how much people think they're Superman and can do everything on their own, they may be able to, but the question is always at what cost? So I think I would tell myself, have some more trust, have some more training, and put some more people around you, around your weaknesses.
Yeah, that's a great thought.
Beautiful.
That's a great thought. Well, I'll tell you what, you need to make sure that you download the book, How the Rich Get Richer. I bet if you go to his website, what is your website? What's your website, Gabriel?
I was very strategic here. It's GabrielShahin.com.
There,
Very
there you
creative.
go. Well, and two, mine's J.R. Young because jyoung.com was taken and people said in Forbes, make sure you're unique. But go to GabrielShahin.com and you can download a book. You could probably get him to autograph it. I've got an autographed copy here. But
I
you
have one coming my way, Jay,
good for you.
finally.
Awesome. That's great. But
We got you.
we can find out how the rich get richer, and you can also learn more about him in Eastern LA, which I'm sure you have clients all over. You don't have to be in Eastern LA to be a client. The way things are today, you could be anywhere, and to be a client, and I'm sure it's very favorable. And he's done an incredible job with thousands of clients and managing over $1 billion. So he's in that place where he can afford to hire the best people imaginable to make sure that he's managing the money right. He's picking the investments. He's got an investment strategy that is right there. So, hey, man, I tell you what, Gabriel, it's been great having you on the show today. I've learned a lot, and I look forward to learning more about you and seeing you at some of the Tiger meetings and Vegas at the Global X, and I look forward to that. That'll be a lot of fun. So, Jordan, you want to Jordan, anything else you want to mention on the show to close her up?
I don't think so. It was a pleasure, Gabriel. Thank you so much again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. This was a lot of fun. We got through the technical difficulties, and more important, we had a great conversation. So thanks again.
Yeah, absolutely. We got it fixed, and we got back in the saddle, and we finished it up. So thanks, everybody, and until next time, this is the Jay Young Show, and this is us signing out. Thank you very much.